Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? It is 8:13 over here in the evening. It is the 20th of October. It is our fifth day in the Holy Land of Israel. Um, can you press one if the audio is good so I can continue? I don't want other echo or something that is incorrect. Press one. Thank you so much. Fifth day in this land, in this holy land. Uh, what I can tell you is a couple of experiences today. The great Victor Marx landed today in Israel. We met him. I met his wife also, and his crew and his team. And we visited uh, a major sergeant, master sergeant from the Israel IDF forces, armed forces. And let me see if I can, if the bell of the church next to the old ancient city, you know what? As a matter of fact, let me change the camera so you can see the old city. How about that? Would you guys like that? So let me just change the camera right here so you guys can see the old city. Let me see. You can see it. There you go. There's the temple. You see that right there? That's the temple. That's the old city. But I would like for me to be this side, and you guys can see it from there. That's the old city right there. That's the old temple right there. Yes, I know that it's the Israeli Defense Forces. I know it's the IDF. We have been here 5 days, and ultimately, which should I stand over here? Let me see if I can. There we go. There we go. Much better. So you guys can see the old temple, and I'm in the screen. So we met Victor Marx. We went to a really conflictive and really difficult place today. And ultimately, I will go through that experience as I went there. We went to Sarot, I think is the place. It is just steps away from the Gaza front line. And the experience walking through the neighborhood that suffered a lot of the consequences of the 7th of October. It is a ghost town, and still we, the bombings, the explosions were continuous. The missiles were coming again and again and again. The continuous attacks by Hezbollah and Hamas have not stopped. Due to that factor, I would like to go through several experiences as I have been here, which I haven't told you guys yet, and which I haven't experienced yet. A lot of the people have asked me, why don't you go to Gaza? Why don't you go to Gaza? Why don't you cross to the border of Palestine? I don't know if you do not understand, but there were some Mexican nationals that they were kidnapped in the part of Gaza by this terrorist organization of Hezbollah and Hamas. Every foreigner that is not Palestinian, even Palestinians themselves, they are being also kidnapped and hijacked their freedom by these terrorist organizations. So imagine me as a journalist crossing in through the parts of Gaza. The only way that you can cross in through the parts of Gaza it is if you are pro Hamas and pro Hezbollah, if you're a terrorist. And if you're a terrorist, well, go ahead, walk in. Even like that, you are, you know, you are willing to ultimately uh, possibly lose your life in the limit lines of this situation. It is really hard to get to those particular places. There's multiple checkpoints and there's difficulty because the multiple explosions that they're coming. I have shown multiple videos and I have shown multiple evidence of what it has happening and what is going on these limitations. Uh, Ultimately, yes, it is absolute truth. Uh, People do not like the information that we're giving out because they are pro Hamas and they are pro Hezbollah, they are pro terrorists. But we want to free Palestine, of course, free Palestine from the terrorists, free them from Hezbollah, free them from Hamas, free them, please. This is a war against evil. Hamas and Hezbollah, they're terrorist groups. They are terrorist groups. They're not a militia. They are terrorist groups. Listen and understand that. Even the people of Palestine are suffering the consequences of these terrorist organizations. We talked to several soldiers, and the soldiers told us we want peace with our Palestinian neighbors. They are good people. This is a war against terror. This is a war against Hamas. We talked to a master sergeant from the IDF, Israel Defense Forces. Exactly the same thing. Every single soldier that we have talked to from the IDF has said exactly the same thing. We want peace with our neighbor of Palestine. We want peace. And they need to be free from Hamas, from Hezbollah, and from the tyrannical government of Iran. That is what they need to be free from. That is the freedom. Israel wants peace with Palestine. Palestine, innocent people, they want peace with Israel. A lot of people say the children that they yes, innocent lives are being destroyed, not only on the side of Palestine, but also on the side of Israel. Now, let me just tell you something. Has anybody asked themselves why the mortality rate it is more higher in Palestine that is more higher and that it's higher in Israel? You know how many thousands of people have been evacuated from the borders of Israel into the south borders and the north borders into the central parts of Israel? Why they haven't evacuated the people, the innocent people of Palestine? Because Hamas and Hezbollah are keeping them in their land. They do not want to evacuate them. A lot of the people have gone into Egypt, and Egypt has, first of all, they had a problem with crossing the borders. But second of all, why Palestine has not evacuated their people? Where is the UN? Where is the United Nations to enter and evacuate all the citizens of Gaza on the part of Palestine? Nobody asked themselves that question. Everybody says disinformation. Everybody says you're lying. Everybody says this. And you're not even here. You're not standing here. You're not listening to the explosions. You're not listening to the detonations. You're not listening to the missile alarms. But you're there on the other side typing and saying all these horrible things. Meanwhile, people are dying. People are suffering. People are losing their lives because of these terrorist organizations. As soon as we got here, I will tell you a few experiences that I have had. When we were up in Kiryat Shimona, that is the place of conflict between the borders of Israel with Lebanon. We had an incident, and not only the missiles that they were passing through, and that we were, that we were in the middle of a broadcast, and two missiles were going out from Israel, and one was coming in from Lebanon. Those experiences are going to stay in my mind for the rest of my life. In the middle of of a broadcast, missiles were going uh, through my head, on top of my head. And this is the reality. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension in the streets. There's a lot of tension in the malls. There's a lot of tension in whatever place in Israel. There's a lot of tension. I cannot even bear to imagine and to fathom what is the tension in Palestine. I cannot even fathom what is the tension over there. But what I can tell you is that we had an experience. We were driving a little bit late. It was 6 o'clock at night. We were staying at a house that they invited us to stay. This is a filmmaker producer invited us to stay. It's a Christian filmmaker producer, and he invited us to his house. And as we were driving up the hill, uh, we we had Chuck had a hit with the network with Newsmax, and as we were going up, and we said, you know what, this is too it's too dark. Let's come down a little bit. Let's move around. Let's find a space. There was a mountain that you can look into the countryside, and you can actually look into the mountains of Lebanon. And we said, here is okay. As soon as we got our tripod out, there was a really brand new SUV BMW vehicle that ran on top of us, ran beside us with some police codes, police sirens, and parked in front of us. As soon as it parked in front of us, as soon as this vehicle parked in front of us, what happened was he got out of the vehicle, and he had a 9 millimeter on the side of his the side of his pocket. This 9 millimeter that he had on the side of his pocket, he started speaking to us. First, it sounded like Arabic because possibly he thought that we were infiltrated individuals, but he was really high tension. Then we started walking up to him and we were showing our credentials and saying, journalist, press, English. He said, no, no English. He got out, almost pulled out his gun. And he was kind of pointing at us. He said, go. He started yelling, go, go. We got in the car, and as he was getting into his car, he was pointing the gun towards us. We were really nervous at that particular moment. We said, this is, we don't know what to expect. These are people that they are at, the level of tension of these people is high. It's extremely high. It is not on the low, it's extremely high. Their emotions are extremely high. We got into the car, and the guy had his highlights behind us, and he honking all the time to get us all the way out of the neighborhood. On the bottom of the neighborhood, there was an inspection point by the IDF. We got into the inspection point by the IDF. We got out of the car. He got out of the car yelling at us. "Ah, ah, ah." We didn't understand what he was saying. Then we started talking. Somebody in the IDF English. Everybody knows English in the IDF. The majority of the IDF, knows English. We started talking to them and said, like, guys, we're here to do a hit. We're journalists. This is our our credentials. Then they started calming him down, and he calmed down for a little bit, and then they started investigating us. They started speaking to us and asking all these questions. What are you guys doing here? You know where do you guys broadcast at? Where are you guys coming from? Gorchuk says, from the United States, and of course, I'm from Mexico. So I started, uh, you know, uh, basically, explaining myself. And after that, they let us go, and we stayed at this house that we were invited to. The craziest thing happened at night. You can't stop hearing the air jets that they are all night passing by in Kiryat Shimon. At first, I thought that it was an incoming when I started hearing them, but it were air jets. and you hear the sound of the drone all night. It's just sad to see that, uh, and sad to understand how this is the life of the people. Uh, and in the tense situation between the people and myself, I felt it also at the airport in Madrid, where they were asking me all sorts of questions to go through the first inspection. Really difficult to get through the first inspection. They asked me for all my social media, they pictures, family pictures. It was just incredible to go through the first screening inspection. And the next day that we were getting out of Kiryat Shimona, it was early in the morning. We started hearing some explosions, so we were trying to return back. And when we tried to return back, they closed the road. So we got back. Later on, Chuck told me there were 9 missiles fired by Lebanon, Hezbollah, into Israel territory. These are facts that they've already been reported. It's already been reported. 9 missiles, continuous 9 missiles, shot early in the morning by the terrorist organization Hezbollah into Israel territory. Uh, it's. I want you to listen to the bell of the church. I will leave you with that sound. Let me see if I can hear the bell of the church. You guys heard it? I want you to hear something, you know, nice from the Holy Land. That is the bell of a church. Uh, After that, uh, you cannot bear to understand how these people live. Every house has a bunker. They showed us the bunker. They show how they have food inside of the bunker. They show how the bunker is ventilated, how they live, how normal it is for a child to live in a bunker. Uh, it's for them an explosion. It's normal. For them, an alarm is normal. For them, hearing multiple drones and air jets, for them is normal. For them is, you know what, it's an explosion. And they will tell you, the kids will tell you, that's like 2 kilometers away. Don't worry, it will go away. But they have that on their mind that one day possibly is not going to go away. It's going to hit the house. So they know that possibility. They know that incredible possibility that it can actually hit their house in the territory. Before I move on, I want to welcome everybody to this live broadcast. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News, independent journalist, uh, bilingual independent journalist. A lot of people have been asking, Oscar, can you translate that in English? Can you translate that in Spanish? Spanish speaking audience, also, can you translate that in Spanish? I would like to remind you guys that I'm trying to do my best to broadcast in both languages, and ultimately, the only audience that has been getting explanations about how it's my journey and how it's been going on is the English audience. It's been the English audience. I've been doing every live feed in English. So, I'd like to be for you guys to be patient, and also to understand each other, and also to be respectful, and ultimately also uh, to understand each other. We're trying to do our best over here. Uh, Also, buy me a coffee. It's in the bottom link. If you guys like to contribute to an independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee, please, guys. Is in the bottom of the link. If you guys like to contribute, it will help me a lot to continue my broadcasting, my journalism, and my reporting. So we're doing our best. I cannot be translating everything that I do. It's a lot of work. So I'm trying to do my best. So you need to be patient. If I do a live feed in Spanish, be sure that later on I will be doing one in English. If I do a live feed in English, be sure later on that I will be, doing one in Spanish. So let's be patient and let's respect each other. Uh, you know, uh, and it's really important. Today, we went to a another another. Let me just get the name, so I will have exactly the name of the place that we went to. So I will not be mistaking of the name that we went through today, because I want you guys to understand. Uh, Esderot. Esderot, it is steps from the Gaza Strip, steps away from the Gaza Strip. Esderot, before we arrived to Esderot, we met with the great Victor Marx. Today I met him. He's a really nice man. We talked for a little bit. I introduced myself. I told him what I do. He actually saw one of my videos from the Darien Gap that was really surprising for me. He said that I was doing incredible work and incredible reporting. Shook his hand, met his wife, met his entourage, security, and we went on. We went on to do an interview with the Master Sergeant, one Master Sergeant of the Israel Defense Forces. We have the full interview with him. You guys are going to be surprised how the Israel Master Sergeant from the Defense Forces, he says, we want peace with our brothers of Palestine. This is a war against Hezbollah and Hamas. It is not a war against Palestine people. The people that are saying free Palestine, yes, free them from Hezbollah and Hamas. Free them because we want peace also. The other individuals that they're saying free Palestine and they're supporting pro-Hezbollah and pro-Hamas, what are you doing, he says? You're supporting terrorists. So we had an interview with him. It's a really young man. All of these military people, they're young men. They're really young men. When we met them a day before at a concentration group where another missile and the alarm went on, we met them over there, and all of them, they have in their minds that they need to defend their land against Hamas and Hezbollah, that they need to defend their land against these terrorist organizations, that they don't have no other option but to defend themselves. And all of them, they describe the moment as you brought us to our knees. You took advantage of us. You defeated us on the 7th of October. And now you are going to be defeated. And, it's really important that people need to understand. Again, once again, I will repeat this once again for people that they do not know. Because it's really easy to give an opinion sitting down in your house and just thinking that it's easy. For us to get to Gaza, it is extremely difficult. The high level of being kidnapped or being held hostage by these terrorist organizations, it is on a high alert. A lot of Mexicans were kidnapped. A lot of Mexican tourists were kidnapped by these terrorist organizations. And as immediately as they know that I'm a foreigner and I'm from Mexico and I'm working with American journalists and that I am walking with American journalisms, it is going to be a problem. And these terrorist organizations, they will take action. That's one of the things. The second thing is they don't let you in. It's just full with checkpoints. They are not allowing people to go into Gaza. The people that they're in there is because they live there. The journalists that they're there is because they live there. It's not because they are traveled from a beautiful island in Florida and they just going over there because they want to. I wish that I can go. I wish that I can enter. You guys know how I have always been. I always go into situations where it's difficult. It's between life and death. I can tell you about getting assaulted in Guatemala at a gunpoint. I can tell you that basically I've been through the jungle, crossed the jungle, the Darien Gap between life and death situations. I've been there. But this is completely different. It's a lot of inspection points. And what I can tell you today, we talked to this Master Sergeant, and it's an incredible, experience to hear how much they want peace between the two lands, between Palestine and between Israel. That's the thing that shocks me the most. The reserves that they're coming over here to defend their land, the young kids that to defend their land. It's incredible, the number. And ultimately, also, not to say, but today we visited Esderot. Esderot, it is a community that it was taken over by Hamas and Hezbollah on the 7th of October. There were multiple assassinations on that particular place. When we enter that place, we are in a high alert. Sirens consistently were sounding. Explosions, you can actually hear them consistently. And ultimately, not only that, but we had to wear our tactical gear. That's obvious. But the most sad thing about it is the atmosphere. How you basically smell the atmosphere. You can smell the atmosphere of tension. You can actually, it's undescribable. It's really undescribable. And when you get there, the first thing that we saw was that there was an empty lot, an empty land, an empty lot. It looked like a parking lot full with dirt, and it was all full with red tape. They closed the perimeter. We were sitting down there. We got our helmets off. We went there, and it was a police station. It was blown up by a suicide bomber. After the 7th of October, one of these radical terrorists went into the community, went into the police station, and destroyed the police station. He destroyed himself, and he destroyed so many lives. And in an actual video, you can see that I recorded a video where there's blood on the streets, there's blood on the walls, there's blood like a body that it was laying down there. The cars, all of their windows are exploded, are cracked. The streets look like a ghost town. The people, they don't want to see, they don't want to look. Some of them, they want to talk. Some of them, they cry when they see you. They cry and say thank you. It's so sad to see that. It's so sad. It's really so. Chuck, you heard that? Chuck. You heard that? The boom? No? Okay. All right. The consistent, these communities that have been taken over constantly by these terrorist organizations. It's so sad, really. It's really sad to go to a neighborhood and it looks like a ghost town. But the tension that we feel, kind of a nerve-wracking tension, it is, difficult. It's difficult to handle yourself. It's difficult to do your work because you have to do it immediately. There's no time for you to just stay there and try to have a decent conversation and say, can I have a cup of coffee and let's just sit down and let's just analyze what we just saw. There's no time for that. There's no time in understanding, of what is happening. You cannot even process everything. You have to get there, do your work, and get out. And that's immediately how it was. This is on the whole Gaza Strip. We got really close today. We were extremely close to this particular place. And what I can tell you in my experience on these 5 days that I've been here, 5 days in the war zone, what I can tell you is that from this perspective, I wish that I can enter Palestine. Like multiple people, they told me before, before I move on, I would like to thank Neil, also Alpaca, also Joanne, also Lynn, also Mary, Miss Mary Yates, also Latino Mexicano, thank you so much. Also Anonymous, thank you so much. Buy me a coffee is right there on the bottom. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, it's right there on the bottom. It's really difficult to try to describe the emotion and the feeling that you get when you're inside of these places. I wish that I can go into Palestine. I wish that there's an ability for us to go into Palestine, but there's an unfriendly atmosphere for us to go into Palestine, for us journalists. It's a non-friendly, uh, you know, atmosphere. For us, we cannot enter. And over here in Israel, it was difficult to enter, but they let us in, and they're letting us do our jobs. And that is the huge difference. Into comparison, what happened between Ukraine and Russia. When I went to Ukraine, a lot of people were telling me, go to Russia. They don't let journalists enter Russia. They don't let you go, not even cross the limitations of the border because they're in a war. You have to understand this is a war. This is not a playground. This is a war. It's people attacking people, and that is the sad thing about it. And and ultimately, it is a phenomenal and great thing to see that there's in some places hope. Uh, some places there's hope. Some there's a comment right here. Say Hamas won't kidnap foreigners. Why would you say that? I'm in Egypt and I'm Mexican. This war is not about politics or religion. This is Zionism. God bless your dear heart. Is the only thing that I can say. Hopefully, God will provide you the logic one day to understand that. Uh, I don't know if you have seen, but we had Mexicans that they were held hostage by these terrorist organizations, and then they just arrived to our country of Mexico. And there are multiple people that they were held hostage. I don't know if you know, but hopefully one day logic will open your mind and it will open your heart. And I don't know if you know that it's extremely insecure to go over there. Uh, Also, I don't know if you know, but Hamas and Hezbollah, they're terrorist organizations. They're not militia. They're not militants. They're not soldier warriors. They're terrorists. So whoever supports these individuals, they're terrorists themselves. This is the reality. If you deny that uh, that these uh, these terrorist organizations are not terrorists, well, you're a terrorist yourself because you're in denial of what is actually this, this actual situation that is happening. So, God bless everybody that is watching. Thank you so much for joining in. Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. I came here to document, to see the reality of of what is happening on the side of Israel. I wish that I can enter. Uh, I wish that I can enter Palestine. There's no way that I can enter Palestine. We have asked multiple people, even the Arabic community, that they live right here, close to the Holy Land. Behind the 2000 wall, the historical wall. There is the most important mosque for Muslims, Gaza. All right, Gaza, Palestine, Gaza. And behind the most important wall, the most old wall, 2000 wall, el muro de los lamentos. There's the most important, uh, you know, uh, the most important mosque that it is. It is Mosque Al Aqsa. That is the mosque that history tells in the book of the Quran. It says that Muhammad, from that mosque, lifted to the seven heavens. It is a really tense place because you have the most holiest place for Christians and Catholics, that is the sacred sepulcher of where Jesus was buried, where Jesus was crucified. And then you have the wall, the wall of the old ancient, uh, uh, you know, uh, the ancient wall, and then behind the ancient wall, you have the Mosque Al Aqsa. So you have a variety of tension right there that has always existed for years. I'm not saying nothing new, uh, but we asked some of the Arabic community of how do they feel this conflict, and they will tell you Hamas and Hezbollah, they're the problem. That is what it is. We got a couple of interviews that I will put out in the next incoming days of people from Arabic, descent. That specifically they explain Hamas and Hezbollah, they are the problems, and a lot of these people they say we want peace and we want Palestine to have the same peace. A lot of the citizens they don't know that Israel has provided a lot of jobs for the Palestinian people, and all these people were crossing the border to work over here. This kind of explanation was not given to nobody. Uh, Israel authorities have told us about that. It is kind of like what happens with Mexico in the United States. That you have a lot of Mexicans, and you have a lot of Mexicans that they're crossing into the United States, and ultimately, you know, they depend on international economy. It's kind of like that, or what it was over here with the Palestinian and people from Gaza, that they were crossing, every day to come to work to Israel, uh, and that economy right now it is stopped because of the terrorist organizations, because of Hezbollah, because of Hamas. Uh, that it's it's no way around it. We know that the people of Palestine are suffering, the innocent children are suffering. But when and these individuals say ceasefire, ceasefire from who? From who you want to ceasefire? You want to ceasefire from Israel, or you want to ceasefire from the ones that attacked on the 7th of October and assassinated more than 1,400 people, and they're continuing to shoot missiles and rockets over here? But that you don't want to hear it, because that for you it is fake news, it is disinformation. You need to learn about history. You're lying. You're supporting Zionism. That is your justification. You're a white supremacist. You're an imperialist. That is immediately your justification. But as we saw over here, that we arrived in these 5 days that I've been here, there's multiple missile attacks coming in from Gaza and coming in from Lebanon. Multiple every day. And it's not a lie. So if you're talking about ceasefire from who? From whom? Now, somebody said some comment, uh, and let me just say, Bug, thank you so much for the coffees. This is a comment from manager says we are for freedom of religion for all people. It is not the same for a group to hijack a religion or use the word. It's important that we need to understand. Janelle, thank you so much for the copies. Janelle, thank you so much. My phone, I think that it's turning on and off. That's why you know, it's really hard to understand how this agenda that is being brought up right now, into, uh, you know, the United States right now, that they're talking about ceasefire, and they're not here. They're not seeing what we're seeing, and they're not watching what we're watching. Of course, if you're a supporter of Hamas and supporter of Hezbollah, go ahead. Say ceasefire, protect terrorists, protect terrorist organizations. protect these people. You're a terrorist yourself. If you're defending Hamas and Hezbollah, what makes you better than them? What makes you better than them? This is a simple question. What makes you better than them if you're supporting them and if you're saying they're not a terrorist organization, they're a militia, they are militants, they are, they're warriors. What makes you better than them? Before this conflict, I will tell you, before this conflict that has been going on for 70 some years, but before this, the 7th of October, you were not protesting ceasefire. You were not saying anything. And before this attack on the 7th of October, you had a different perception. You understood and you knew that Hamas and Hezbollah were terrorist organizations. You knew that these terrorist organizations, they're brutal. They assassinate children. They assassinate innocent women and men. You knew this. But now, there is a narrative, a political narrative, and that there are a lot of propaganda from fake news media coming in from Iran, coming in from the parts of the Hezbollah and Hamas, and the fake news media, the leftist media, right? Because those are the ones that they pander to this kind of situation. Now, yes, it is ceasefire, and now let's protect these terrorist organizations. And now, it's not even about the Palestinian people. It's not even about the people that they're suffering. It's not even about that. It's about supporting these terrorist organizations. Now it is about, Hamas is not a terrorist. Hamas is not a bad people. They're good people. They're defending their land. What do you know about that? Have you been close to Gaza? I've been close to Gaza. I've been here. You've been close to the northern borders of Lebanon. I've been there. 2 missiles went by on top of me. 3 to be exact. Have you been there? So this is the problem with the propaganda that is being spread and the disinformation and the lines of communication that people are not understanding, and they're not even understanding what's the current situation. Let me tell you something, and I will be courteous to respond. There's a comment right here, and I will be really courteous to respond. You are a reporter who just arrived to Israel. I'm seeing firsthand the story of what is happening in Palestine. Are you saying that I support terrorism, Hamas, Hezbollah, or Hamas? If you support Hezbollah and Hamas, you're a terrorist. There's no other way around. I'm sorry, but you're part of them. You're supporting terrorism. But let me just be courteous. There's a thing that I learned from Chuck Colton. God gave us the privilege to have logic. The Creator, God, gave us the privilege to have logic. Gave us the privilege to understand logic, and gave us the privilege to understand what is good and what is wrong. When you deny God and when you deny logic, He will say to you, I will take away that gift, and I will make you a person that doesn't understand logic or doesn't understand what is not logic. And that is the result. The result is, when have we, as human beings in society, have gone down into a point that we don't understand logic? That we don't understand that this war, yes, 70 some years, but this happened in this. Let me talk about the 7th of October till now. That we don't understand what happened on the 7th of October has a consequence. And the people that attacked on the 7th of October, Israel, they were not Palestinian. It was not Palestinian peaceful people. These were terrorist organizations. It was Hezbollah and it was Hamas. The Palestinian people were peacefully doing their lives, peacefully living their lives. The ones that attacked on the 7th of October, they were Hezbollah and Hamas. This is when you lose your logic, not me. The way that I look at these things is like, yes, the conflict has been going on for years, but who attacked on the 7th of October? Hezbollah and Hamas. They're terrorist organizations, right? Yes, the logic is terrorists attack the country. What is the next thing that it needs to do? Not retaliate, not defend yourself, not try to eradicate these groups that they're causing terror in Palestine, in Gaza, and also in Israel? What is the thing? Let's defend the terrorists now? Let's defend that they're freedom fighters, that they're warriors? That's what it's all about now? So God will take away that seed of logic, and it will make you an illogical person, a person that doesn't know logic. And that is what we have now in society. We have now in society people that do not know what a man is, what a woman is. We have now in society people that they want, if you don't support what their narrative is in terms to gender identity, you are a bigot, you are a racist, you are a fascist, you are a narcissist, you are xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoun-phobic, anti-Semitic, Zionist, every bad thing that you don't even imagine. This is the situation. War is never a solution. War is never a solution. Attacks is never the solution between two countries. The solution is for people to stop dying, to bring peace. That is the solution. But let's not remember, terrorist organizations attacked first Israel on the 7th of October. Let's get it right. Let's get the facts right. And the sad thing about it is that Hezbollah and Hamas have Gaza hold hostage. And the people, innocent people of Gaza, are the ones that are suffering because they cannot be evacuated. They cannot move out. They don't have a place to go. So where are all these international organizations? Where are they? The map in the whole Gaza Strip is full with UN offices. What are you doing? Where is your aid? Where is your help to get the people from Gaza and the Palestine people out of danger in range of a missile attack? Why are you not pulling them out? The UN. Why are you not pulling them out? Somebody will read a comment. With all calmness, I'm going to read the comment, and I'm not going to argue, but I'm going to read the comment. No, you are wrong, Oscar. This is Hakup Shirkjan. I don't, really difficult to pronounce your name, my brother. You are not seeing what happened in the Holy Land Israel military attack before act of terrorist. Okay, my brother. God bless your dear heart. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in. Let me drink a little bit of water. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. This is our 5th day in Israel. Fifth day in Israel. Fifth day. Let me just. There's something happened to the page. It's my fifth day in Israel.
Two American hostages just released by Hamas. That's what they're reporting.
2 American hostages just been released by Hamas.
That's what they're reporting.
Can you come and say that right here on camera real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Chuck Holton. Is going to give you some breaking news.
Hey, folks, we're just hearing it's being reported by a few different networks now that there have been 2 American hostages, a mother and a daughter, that have been released by Hamas. That's really all the information we have at this point. The real question is why and what are they trying to get out of that? Very often when things like this happen, it's because the mother and daughter are so sick or injured that they may be about to die, and Hamas doesn't want to get blamed for their deaths. So they release them. We saw North Korea do that with that Owen Warmbier kid or whatever. I'm speculating at that point, though. This information literally just came out. So that's that.
Thank you. You go. Chuck Holton giving you guys information, breaking news from the other side right here, really close. So we will try to get that information tomorrow, and let's see if we can go to the place that they are going to be released or the place that they are going to be brought in to Israel. So that is our job tomorrow. Let's see what we can do tomorrow and see what we can find out for the individuals that they were saying that that Hamas and Hezbollah do not kidnap and do not hold hostage people. That's for you, right there. There's a response. 2 Americans have been released right now, and just for you to get to that information. Thank you so much for joining in. How's everybody doing? Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News, live from Israel. As we have been 5 days in the war zone, 5 days over here, broadcasting for every single one of you guys, trying to give you guys the most important information as possible. We're trying to give you guys updates, and ultimately is our first time coming over here. And first time, basically visiting the Holy Land. I'm hoping that I can visit it more, come over here and experience more, come over here and really enjoy the Holy Land. That will be, for one instance, nice, and to not be worried about a siren, not be worried about a missile, and not be worried about an explosion, or not be worried about something else. So I wish that I can have that opportunity, but let's see what can happen. I want to say thank you to a couple of people. Curious, thank you so much for the coffees. Alan, thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much. Also, if you guys want to go to my my merchandise, as we're selling also shirts. God's Plan is Our Mission. That is a shirt that you can buy in our link. It's going to be put up right there, the link. If you guys want to go and buy some shirts, God's Plan is Our Mission. That is our, that is a logo. So if you guys can go over there and, want to buy our shirts there, you can have it. And also Diane and Anonymous, thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much for all your supports. We want to continue to be in here, guys. So all your support that you guys are sending, it is extremely, extremely, extremely important. And we really well appreciate it. Our flight back home, it's going to be difficult to get back. So we're trying to ultimately save money for that, and also, keep on being here. So it's extremely important for your independent reporting support, for independent media. That's what it is. Why don't you take PayPal? I tried giving that away several times. PayPal. I don't have PayPal. I got eliminated by PayPal not too long ago. So really difficult to have PayPal. So they took my account away. So I have different ways, but buy me a coffee. It's a really simple way. Questions before I go? We've got around 5 to 6 minutes to answer questions. So go ahead. One question, they comment, whatever you guys want to ask. PayPal doesn't support conservative media. No, they don't. They don't. And even I'm not a extreme conservative. I'm a normal guy, so they don't even support independent media. So that's the sad thing about it. Do you have sale? No, I don't. Buy me a coffee is right there. It's the link. Uh, Thank you so much for joining in. I don't have Cash App. I don't have sale. And I will create a Gives and Go for my next trip. How long are you planning? There's a question. How long are you planning on being over there reporting? As long as I can stay, as long as I can support myself to stay, and I will happily love to stay another 3 to 4 days, possibly another week. But let's see how it goes. I'm living the day by day. Do you feel? Oh my God! Where is it? Ah, well, it's so nice. Uh, eh, where is it, man? Do you feel afraid being there? No. Fear, it is. I have said it multiple times. Fear, it is a word that it was put in the dictionary to test the courage and the character of a human being. So it is the mind and it is the heart that overcomes fear. So it's always the only person or the only thing that I fear is God. That is the only thing. When will you be on Wendy Bell? I'm trying to contact Mr. Brock, so I will contact him right now. What time is it on the East Coast right now? It would be nice to say what time is on the East Coast. Uh, uh, how was Biden comments received by the citizens? Not well accepted, and also by several people of the military. They are really upset. They are extremely upset of his perception of how they need to address this war. Thank you so much, Pat Reina. Yes, there safe places for the Israel citizens to go. Yes, Jerusalem is one of the places that is safe, although there's some sirens every once in a while going on. In the central parts of Israel, it's safe. 1:12 in the evening, 2:10 Eastern. Yeah, I will call Miss Wendy. What is the feeling when you enter the place of the holy tomb of Jesus? Uh, what is the feeling? Whew, it's undescribable. Uh, there's no way to describe it as the. It's undescribable. I want to cry. It's really undescribable. I got 5 minutes to be where he was put to rest. Nobody on this planet has had possibly the privilege that I had to stay there alone in his tomb for 5 minutes. Alone. And it was an energy that there's no way that I can describe it. There's nothing that I will describe. Not even love can describe pain, hurt, happiness. It's an undescribable feeling. You can't describe it. And I immediately, you start repenting. Is the only thing that you feel. You feel that you want to repent. There's no other feeling. You want to say that you're sorry, that you will not do it again. And then what can you do? That's what, you know, uh, that's the most amazing thing. Somebody saying the key emotions in your heart will deceive you. Uh, God will never deceive you, my friend. That's a bomb.
That's Ashdod.
That's Ashdod, huh?
30 plus miles away.
That was an explosion.
Mm-hmm. But that's how far it'll travel. 30 plus miles.
You heard it?
It's an hour from here. Yeah.
It's big, huh?
I was just watching the alerts. There are rockets coming into Ashdod.
The rockets coming into Ashdod?
Yeah. Lots of rockets coming into Ashdod right now. Right where we were at the hotel.
So there's incoming right now. People that just want to know. But yeah, but that was the feeling of my, you heard that from Chuck Holton. There's incoming right now from Ashdod. Ashdod, that is, I said it correctly, Chuck?
Yeah, when we went down to the beach, remember where we picked up the police unit?
Oh, there.
Yeah, we're right down at the beach. Remember you wanted to go down and see the
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, we were there yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
We were there yesterday. You know, that was the feeling. Certainly, when I was in there, it makes you really want to cry. Really, it's just really, really emotional to be in that specific place. And I was there 5 minutes. You know, I was given the opportunity of a lifetime, and it's just God was, you know, was really he blessed me that moment for 5 minutes. Pray for my family, pray for peace, pray for a lot of things. I had a really intimate moment with him at that particular moment, at that particular time. Really intimate, extremely intimate moment. It's the holiest place for non-believers in Christ. Well, you know, I respect your opinion. Me, that I'm a believer, I believe that respect of religion is one of the things that we need to do. And you know, I strongly believe that as we respect each other, well, respect my faith, right? So I believe in Christ. I believe that He's our Lord and Savior, our King, and that's what I felt. And I felt it because I believe in it, because I have faith that He's my Lord and Savior, and that He's the number one. There's no other one. He's the number one. So, in my eyes, what I felt at that moment was that I was at the feet of Him, at the most holiest place where He was put to rest. And I was touching the place where He was put to rest. What He wanted me to do. It's undescribable. It's an undescribable feeling. There's no way to describe it. No way. There's no way. And actually, you can feel more the energy into places that he walked, or you can feel more the energy. I felt it. I felt it really strong right there. But when I was where he was crucified, uh, that is when I felt it really strong. Where he was crucified, I felt it really strong. That was, who, you started feeling sweating, and you start feeling that it's a strong feeling. It's a strong energy. There's no way to describe it. Uh, you know, uh, when I was uh, younger, I always had the dream to come to Jerusalem. Final thought for people that are watching. Uh, Thank you so much, Anonymous. Send me 4 coffees. Thank you so much. Buy me a coffee is right there. Uh, you know, you know, buy me coffees right there. But thank you so much. But when I was younger, final thought. Uh, you know, I always dreamed to come to this place and to repent for all my sins, and to really recharge. I committed a mistake in 2018. I was in prison for 4 years, and I, came out. Never made a mistake in my life. Never have done nothing wrong in my life, and never had a speeding ticket. Never had nothing. But I committed one mistake, and I paid for my mistake. Paid 4 years every day in that place, praying every day, morning and night, morning and night, morning and night. When I came out, I said, one day I will have the opportunity to go to Jerusalem and to sit down where he was buried and to ask for forgiveness, and for him to tell me, what can I do? What should I do? Where should I go? If I'm doing okay, direct me. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me, what can I do? What can I help? Use me as a tool for whatever, to fight whatever evil, or use me to do whatever you want. And with my job, I had an opportunity to come over here at the side of my mentor, to go into a place that not too many people in the world have the opportunity to go, and to have 5 minutes inside that chamber with him alone, to ask him for forgiveness, thank him for the second opportunity in life, thank him for everything that he has done for me, ask for peace, to stop child trafficking, to stop the migrant abuse, that I document the migration, to stop the abuse in the Darien Gap, for people to go back to him, to bring logic into the hearts of men, to bring men to be men and women to be women, to love each other, to respect each other, to encourage men to be brave and women to be brave, for men to be free and women to be free, to respect our mothers, to respect our elders, to love and care for our children and our grandchildren, ask for guidance, for light, for peace. It was a really private moment, and I cannot say more. I thank him for every single thing. So if you ask me, really, it was a question that it was a really long answer. Dan, thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much, Dan. Uh, if you will ask me in a nutshell, what I believe is an undescribable feeling. It's undescribable. It's really, there's no words. I believe that is the most beautiful thing that I have ever encountered in my life. Love cannot describe it. Happiness cannot describe it. Money does not describe it. It is the most beautiful thing that I ever had in my life. So that's how much I will describe it. Thank you so much for joining in. It's 1 hour and 11 minutes. I extended too much. Too much. God bless you. God bless every one of you for your contributions. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, Dano. Dano from Wendy Bell radio listener. Thank you so much to all the Wendy Bell radio listeners. uh, God bless every single one of you, man. All the Wendy Bell radio listeners. I love Wendy. She's a great journalist, great broadcaster, great investigative journalist. She has a heart of a lion. She's a lion, man. She fights. And I completely respect Wendy and Mr. Brock. Also, I call him Mr. Brock all the time. Mr. Brock, I'm ready. So say hello to Mr. Brock and Miss Wendy. Incredible. Uh, so God bless you, every single one of you. Thank you so much for this support. I will continue to be over here in the Holy Land, in Israel, and I believe I will say something in Spanish, just for me to say something quick in Spanish. Acabo de ver que entraste aquí, no sé si estás aquí, pero perdí tu contacto. Carlos de Contracultura, estás aquí en el chat. Mi hermano, estás aquí en el chat. Carlos de Contracultura, estás aquí en el chat. Te vi por ahí. Si estás aquí en el chat, solamente dime que sí, por favor. Necesito hablar contigo y estoy más que dispuesto a subir a tu plataforma para esto, llevar una transmisión desde acá contigo, mi hermano. No sé si estés aquí. Déjame ver si estás por aquí. Déjamelo saber. I think he left. Well, God bless you, every single one of you guys. We will be, staying here for the next incoming days. And I would like to say thank you to every single one of you that have been supporting, that your support is much needed. Tomorrow we will have, I'm right here. Mi Carlos. Carlitos, perdí tu contacto. Ahorita voy a ver cómo te contacto, cómo le hago. Creo que tengo que buscar tu contacto para hacer un programa, Carlitos. Acá estoy en Israel y con mucho gusto hacemos un programa en tu plataforma para hablar de lo que está sucediendo acá. Me encantaría, mi hermano, hablar contigo porque estamos pendientes en ir a Chile y creo que ya es hora de que vayamos allá a visitar tu gran y hermoso país. Mi hermano, te extraño, te mando un abrazo hasta allá, hasta Chile. Ahorita voy a ver cómo te contacto. Si tienes mi contacto todavía en Telegram, mándame mensaje, mi hermano, porque lo perdí, no lo tengo y he tratado de contactarte por múltiples medios y no puedo llegar a ti. Entonces, te agradezco que por favor me puedas contactar. Te lo agradezco, por favor. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I will be contacting you guys later on tomorrow, hoping that we can get information about the hostages and all the situation which is going on right now. It's currently right now. And people are saying English. Be respectful. My God, man. I just did a live feed in Instagram and I told the audience, please be respectful. If I'm speaking Spanish, then I will speak English. Please be respectful. Be respectful and appreciate it because I'm from Mexico. I learned the language of English. I learned it. So please be respectful. Let's be patient with each other. God bless you guys. Stay safe. follow me at every platform: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and I don't know how many other platforms. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and like we always say, people, God's plan is our mission. Stay safe.